Hey, Georgia.
Hey there, James. Fancy,
Welcome.
Fancy seeing you guys here.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Just came for a workout today.
Sunday again.
On a Sunday.
Indeed. Another Sunday.
We only have a couple more of these left before you go to Idaho.
We'll still do them
Virtually?
together in mind.
Aww.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
No,
so.
I'll do them on a Sunday when you
Yeah.
guys are doing them in here.
Okay.
If you're in here doing them.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just if,
Okay.
if it's possible to go live again for a
that's
shorter
true.
time period.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think the extended shit is what causes the problem. But
Yes.
It's possible to do that.
For sure.
Yeah.
We'll
Let's do it.
FaceTime with you.
We could have you on the
Bring
TVs.
Hey.
We could have you on the TVs.
Awesome.
You just have to put a TV in.
I'm down for that.
Perfect.
Throw a TV up in Coeur d'Alene.
I'm down for that.
Nothing will stop the Sunday sessions.
No.
So guys, what did we do today?
Work.
Work.
A lot of work.
Yeah, we did
That's what the name of it was.
20 minute, 2 minutes on, Centermass double presses. Max reps in 2 minutes. And
Explain the
then,
bells first before.
Okay, Centermass bells, they're essentially
Grab.
just think about a kettlebell, but the handle, instead of being here, is actually inside of the bell.
Yeah.
So Centermass bells, these
Awesome.
guys. So you
One of
kind of
these
look
guys.
like Mega Man. If you
Is that
understand
it?
that,
Is
you
that who it
understand
is?
that. Do you,
Mega
you know who
Man?
Mega Man is?
No.
The blue guy? I'll show
yes.
you. Yeah.
The picture, yes.
Yeah. So it's a
Yep.
cartoon back in the day.
Why didn't he get?
Comic book Mega Man?
Is it Marvel, DC?
Gosh, I don't know.
Why didn't he get?
Not
'Cause
sure.
that seems like a slower Flash.
Yeah.
What's that guy's name?
Thor?
Had the big hand. Teddy.
The, The guy with the gems?
Yeah.
I forgot his name.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, like the big thing at the end of Thor.
Yeah.
I was thinking that could be a good
Yep.
superhero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we did CM bells.
Yeah, CM bells, 2 minutes max reps, and then
Yeah.
we went to the
Double-
assault bike and accumulated max calories, and our score was
And we held the bells on the assault bike.
over
Try and figure that out.
contralateral.
Dude, think about that though.
Yeah, it would be brutal.
It would be, your shoulders
Just-
would be toast.
Oh, you got to keep them
Well,
on.
looking at excuse
That would
number
be like,
16, looking at excuse number 16, I wasn't able to do that because my seat was.
Yeah, we'll
was
come back to
following
the excuses.
Okay.
Carl, we should say they're Carl's excuses.
These are, I think I added one in there.
Yeah, and we'll
yeah.
make sure she can
Actually-
see all of them that Carl mentioned.
Only one, two.
We'll get to
Two
the,
of them.
we'll get to
Okay,
excuses.
okay.
We'll get to Carl's excuses. That reminds me though, as a concept though of tailpipe, Jim Jones tailpipe. Do you guys remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Hold the
yep.
kettlebell at the end of the row, or as the person does the distance,
Yeah.
and then you got to keep them up the whole time. Those, I'm not kidding. Those
Yeah.
on the shoulders as you're doing the assault bike.
Could work. Yeah.
Heavy enough where you got to keep going, and when they drop, your cals stop accumulating.
There's an
Anyways.
idea for next weekend. So what was
We didn't do that though.
We didn't. No.
We did assault bike.
20 minutes, 2 doubles presses with 2 center masses, 2 minutes cals.
Yeah.
Score is both of those numbers put together at the end.
Yeah.
Total reps.
What was challenging about it?
Gosh, these guys are heavier than they say they are. Excuse number 18.
Yeah. I had 26s, you had 44s,
44s.
35s.
35s per end.
They
Yeah.
feel a lot heavier than a
They
dumbbell.
felt like 70,
Different.
53. Yeah, it's just
Different, therefore quasi
It's not
heavier
used, just not
perception
used to them,
is
right?
different.
Yeah, not used to them. Yeah, very hard to maneuver once you hit the ground. So if you hit the ground and you weren't exactly where you needed to be for your
Yeah.
chest to get there, you had to really work to move them out. With a dumbbell, you can kind of just like push it over and it'll roll. Not this guy. Yeah, having to control it down in the eccentric was a big deal
For you,
for me.
I think we just kind of
'cause I'm
let
weaker.
it go to the ground.
Yeah,
No, heavier bells.
yeah. It was tough.
Yeah. Would
Yeah.
you agree, Georgia?
The-
Like your weight to get down.
I broke
was-
my shoulder.
Okay,
I,
okay.
I kind of did 50-50
Okay.
split, but I just felt a little out of control and like I was missing my placement
Yeah.
if I didn't bring them down
yeah.
slow.
Okay,
So I
okay.
did feel a bit of
Okay.
fatigue from that eccentric.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of, I don't know if you guys realized it, but you know with a dumbbell, when you kind of swing it overhead, it almost self-corrects and puts
Yeah.
you in the right spot because you have that. You can kind of do that with your wrist and
Yeah.
cheat it a little bit. With these, you can't because all the mass is in the center. So
Yeah.
where you are is where you are. James jokingly said, half jokingly said, you got to extend. And I'm like, I am extended. And then I looked up and I was extended, but I was a little bit forward. Whereas with a dumbbell or a kettlebell even, the mass
goes
is
back.
in the rear. So it just kind of self-corrects it. So you had to intentionally put yourself in that position with these things.
Yeah, it was a learning curve. I felt myself get a little bit more efficient from set 1 to set 2 with how I was moving the bells. just because I've not done a devil's press with these guys before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something to be said about pre-work for competition right there. If you want to get the most out of it, you probably got to get practice in the movement, like an hour pre-competition, ready, set, go. Because then your brain, once you get going, you can kind of figure out that pace, right?
Yeah.
Like for you, I think, specifically, you may would have had a few more reps on average, but it's just that first 4 minutes is like, how do you develop a pace with this rhythm?
I should
feel like you were kind of like
the
figuring
first 2
out?
minutes.
Yeah.
I approached it all wrong.
Yeah.
And then that carried over into all 20 minutes.
Yeah. The 35s for me, as I said, I probably could have done that more and more, but it was like a perfect load.
How would you guys advise someone approach a workout like this to get the most amount of work done in the 20 minutes?
I would just start with efficiency.
If that's the intention.
See where you can be the most efficient, right? But if the goal is to get as many reps at the end of this thing, there's like some gaming that comes into play, right? Like if we approached it, we're like life on the line, you have to get as many reps as possible. We would have probably held 6 to 8 more RPM on the assault bike and went a little bit easier on this guy, or vice versa, right? Depending on where we could be most efficient. But for efficiency across the board, it's just finding those little things that can make you efficient. Like I came out and I did, I think it was like 8 without taking a breath, and I shouldn't have done that. I should have just gone like 3s and 4s, a couple breaths right back into 3s or 4s across the entire time. But it just depends on where someone's deficiencies sit. It's really hard to say, approach this thing like that, because I think we all approached it differently.
Yeah, I think if it's, like Carl said, if it's competition, it goes to the rules of competition, which is lots of practice, lots of volume, huge warm up. Like, for example, people don't step into this if it's a competition and be like, well, I guess just figure it out. You know, that's not a competitor. That's a participant. So if you're going to compete, then you probably know to the exact amount of RPMs you can handle to get the most amount of calories relative to pace you're going to hold for the load you're using. So if you're like, oh, I haven't used that load before, well, that's an extraneous circumstance where you can kind of figure it out. And to Carl's point, then I would say, yeah, you got to figure it out. But if we know you're a competitor and you're doing this, you're probably going to be maximizing on the calories on the bike and then holding that perfect pace up until your last set of devil press.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I like the fact that we didn't do them as reps for 2 minutes before. Did you ever do that in a set?
Like
2 minutes of Centermass bells for reps?
No.
No, right?
No,
So I mean,
never.
that's the greatest aspect of what we just did. It's like it's never been done for us, so it's like, okay, you got to figure it out and learn. Yeah, I like the fact of trying to figure out that. I always love the fact of the transition, which is lots of the rabbit holes I've been into the science of mixed mobile, transitioning between elements. So I had lots of fun in my brain thinking about like, how is each stage different in the transition? Like, what am I doing now to like get that extra couple of calories, and does it matter? And why does it not matter right now? Like, those are the mind games I would play to figure it out. So I love transitions.
Yeah, overall, I think a good strategy globally would be don't waste your first 15 to 30 seconds on the bike.
Yeah.
You guys know what I mean by that? Like
Totally.
recovering to like find that RPM. It's like get to that comfortable RPM that James mentioned as soon as you get on the bike.
Yeah.
Because that's where you lose a lot, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you look at the clock and you're like, at 90 seconds remaining is when I'm going to be at this RPM.
Yeah. With
so-
practice, you kind of know that.
Yeah.
Right, and a big warm up. Because big warm up, you go in and you're just on the whole time, right? So your aerobic reserves are ready for you to even F up the first 15 seconds and then go, whoa, whoa, whoa. But then you can recover. But if I was to do that each time and like hammer it and be like, oh, maybe I'll be there, I would have been a sack of beans.
Limiting factors for you guys, Carl?
Oh, all these
Or
things.
James? Yeah, true.
Well, let me explain.
Explain the list.
Yes, this is the list of things. Well, it's humorous, but when you always propose hard work, there's always things that come up, right? It's like, oh, what's going to prevent me from? So when we propose Centermass bells and assault bike, you immediately get, discomfort.
Yes.
We call them excuses. So instability was one of them.
That
That
was
means the
Carl's.
bike instability, right? The seat was wobbly.
Not mental
Mine was a
instability, emotional
barfy
instability.
feel. As soon as we said it, like I was like, I could barf during this. Like I kind of.
Yeah, my
this-
bike was doing this when I was warming up.
Yeah,
So
that's what instability means.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's the instability.
Sunshine was
Yeah.
was coming in. It was
Yeah,
really it was
smoking,
blinding.
smoking us.
Blinding AZ sun. The bells felt heavy. The
Yeah.
perception. I'll explain it. You don't have to move around. The bells were heavy. There was a fishy smell, a little bit, just down the street. Just a tiny one, right? A tiny. Why do you find that one so fun?
Just wait till you guys come and visit.
I didn't actually smell that today.
I
Did
didn't
you
smell
guys?
the fish today.
Georgia didn't have enough carbs last night.
I
Yeah.
did not. I missed my
Right.
Saturday dessert.
You had a problem with the math
Yes,
right away. You're
I-
like, I'm not going to be able to add. You said that. You said, I'm not going to be able to add all this up. You went like this.
Yeah, she almost
Yeah.
said I can't do it because
But
the
we,
math is.
we
gonna be
stopped
too
you
hard.
from saying that, and we said you should at least put it on the board.
But I did it. I didn't actually have to
before-
do it in my head. The
yeah.
bike did count for me.
Before we started, Carl said we're coming to Coeur d'Alene for the whole summer, and I immediately was like, whoa, that's called
Boundaries.
That's called life encroachment.
We're gonna live
this
in
was
his.
an excuse.
We're gonna live in his casita for
Yeah.
the entire summer.
And
so.
that kind of freaked me out a tiny
Yeah,
bit.
I wanted to
And
get his
asked
heart
you
rate up a little
to
bit.
try to calm it down a bit. The music was reggae. It was reggae. Forget what the thing was, but it was
was a little
reggae.
slow.
It was slow,
Yeah,
and you know, it may calm you down. There was holes in the floor from the change in our rig.
Yeah,
You'll see that on the
little,
speed video.
Yeah, really small holes.
Yeah, they.
those were
I mean, they
distracting.
could have been.
Could trip in those.
We use the clock, which is extremely distracting. Like to
Yeah.
know exactly the time and like when you got to shift and
Yeah.
like how much you got done.
And if the clock is set properly.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we
made
were freaked out,
that up.
right? We
Yeah.
were
They
freaked
can't
out.
trust me.
Besides the fact that we're actually measuring time, it was that we were scared shitless that your competence in the timing of this is what it was. You
It's
screwed
been
it
a
up
thing.
before,
It has
right?
been a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I never distrusted that, by the way. But anyways, that was in the back of our head. And then my seat was wonky, which Carl fixed.
Yeah, fix that.
Beforehand.
Can
Yeah,
cross
we
that
should
one
cross
off.
that one out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, no. We have to
Well,
keep it because my
well,
seat
if you
was
cross
forward.
out the seat,
Oh,
then
no, you have
you cross out instability.
Okay.
Right?
No, my seat.
And we
was
did
an
change
issue.
the sun. That stays. The bell stays. The fishy smell, we all agree, wasn't too bad. Did the carbs cause you a problem?
I feel a little depleted.
Yeah. No carbs. You
Math
did
was
an
an
average,
issue.
but she said average at the end. No, you said them all. You said 15.
Yeah.
So this wasn't an issue.
No, I was good. We counted.
I didn't think I got over that at 30 seconds.
He
The
got
light
excited
encouragement.
about it. It
Yeah.
went
Clock
from.
was fine.
Clock was fine. The holes
They
did
were
puff.
there.
They puffed up.
I got
smoke.
dust in
Yeah.
my face. Yeah.
Dust came up when I hit the,
So that
on
was
the
a
ground.
stay.
And the music, I can't even remember it. But.
It slowed me down a little bit, I think, which is probably a good thing.
Okay.
All right.
Well, guys,
Bells
happy
were fucking
Sunday.
Good luck with that work.
Get your hands on some of these guys if you can.
Yeah.
If not, dumbbells would work. Just slightly different experience.
Yeah, but you won't be doing the same experience, so don't think that your score beats us if you use dumbbells.
We didn't even tell them our scores, so that's.
Oh,
that's good.
okay.
We'll keep that to ourselves.
Yeah, we got like, it was close to 200 average for most of us, right, at the end?
I was lower than
200-ish?
that.
Yeah.
It was
200-ish.
right? It was around
200.
there.
Yeah, it was 200.
And
Good luck with that.
let's give Donnie Thompson credit on the Centermass belt.
DT!
He created those things. Columbia, South
DT?
Carolina. Ooh, DT. Ooh, man. Yeah, Donnie Thompson created them. A lot of people copied them. We're giving you credit, Donnie.
Thanks, Donnie.
Donnie known as Mega Man.